Hey everybody. So I think I got me a bad turbo here. I'm getting oil out the exhaust, and this is the only thing that I haven't changed on this whole engine. So basically you're only going to get oil in your exhaust from a couple of places, either a catastrophic engine issue, or I guess you could have leaking valve seals, or maybe oil burning oil through coming by the rings and then just getting into your exhaust and out. But generally, if you have a turbo and you have oil in the exhaust, it's generally the turbo seal is leaking and it's sending oil out the exhaust. So I got me a new turbo. It is just a stock replacement. This is a hy35w, I believe. So I'm going to swap this out with a new one. I thought about getting a bigger one. I thought about changing it up a little bit, but the exhaust is a new exhaust. I didn't really want to modify that or kind of deal with any of the extra stuff. I just kind of want to get it driving and not leaking, I guess. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just swapping it out with another turbo. I got it from Turbochargers Direct. It is a new turbo. So got ourselves here a brandy new one, they say. I got an oil line off of eBay. That was a part number that was on there. Don't know if that's the part number that goes with it, but you could tell it's made in the USA. I got two new fittings for the turbo and the oil filter housing there. That was a part number on them. So let's open this up. Wafting that new turbo smell. So this kit came with the gaskets and stuff to put this in. So you got the gasket for the drain. I don't know what that O-ring's for. Seems kind of like a weird size. I don't think that's what goes in there anyway. And then this guy here, the exhaust gasket. So here's that. Here it is. Looks just like the one that's there. Now this, they did have rebuilt ones, but I chose to just get the new one. You can get these, well, from a lot of different places. A bunch of places had them in stock, but Turbochargers Direct seemed to have kind of the best overall price and everything that went with it. I think it was $14.50. It came with free shipping. You could say those, and it came with the outlet elbow. So I don't know if this comes on the other ones. I did not see it pictured on any of the other turbos that I saw, like from Diesel Power Products or any of those other places, but it was pictured on this one. So that's another reason I got this, is because this outlet elbow was on there. Like I said, I don't know if it was on the other ones, but like I say, it wasn't pictured, and I did have to verify that it was everything that came with it. Sometimes they're vague and like to not answer specific questions, and I've been getting burned a lot lately by online sales that aren't exactly what they say they are. So anyway, let's get the other one out and get this one in. So this has got an SMB intake. I just kind of took that off, so I just pulled you can see it right there. Just undid a couple hose clamps, pull it out, unplug the mass airflow sensor that's in there, and away we go. So like this clamp down here, I usually have to heat up the nut to back it off. It hasn't been on there very long, so it was able to loosen the nut right up. I put some never sees on there, so as it was backing off, it was going over the never sees, and it came off pretty easy. This other clamp right here, it was a little tight. I had to heat up the nut too. It's a nylock nut, so it kind of melted the nylon out of it. But I find like on the plows at work, when I use the nylock nuts on the plow bolts, they will seize right on there like you wouldn't believe. It's like the nylock like lets the water in, and it actually like locks right up. But if I use a steel nut, they end up coming off a lot easier than the nylock ones. And it's not necessarily that the nylon is holding it on that hard. It's like it traps in the moisture and causes it to lock up and rust up. So I don't know where I was going with that, but let's continue. So I gotta get the nuts off of the turbo itself, You got 2 nuts on the top here and 2 on the underside in the back. So these are studs. The studs are in the turbo on this one, and they're in the manifold on the back side. I don't really know why they do that, because I find it to be kind of a pain, but I guess it is what it is. So I'm going to get these nuts off, these 2, and then the 2 underneath in the back. And then this particular year has a metal drain. And on the metal drain is a little piece of rubber, but you can see metal drain bolted to it, comes over there down, then there's a piece of rubber, and then a nipple that sticks out of the bottom of the bottom of the block for the drain. There's a little piece of rubber in there, so we gotta take the hose clamps off that to move that rubber down to get that out. So I might have to take that drain off or unbolt it from the turbo first, just because that's got to come down, and it might go into the drain. I don't know, it's gonna kind of be a little finicky. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm gonna do it, but I'm just gonna kind of plug along, and then we'll get it done when we get it done. Let's see if we can get these nuts off very easily. I didn't really think so. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's on there. Looks warm. Oh man, that is on there. What were you thinking? Think that was just gonna come off? There we go. There. Well, that was easy, huh? I don't know what I was worried about. Alright, I'm gonna fight the rest of these, and then I'll turn the camera back on. So those, I got 15mm on those nuts. It's kind of loose, but I couldn't find another wrench that fit tight, so 15 is what I'm going with. So I used 10mm impact swivel socket there on a long extension, and I came up here, and you can see the 2 turbo bolt holes. So I kind of just went up there with the extension and the swivel, and I took those 2 bolts off of that lower turbo drain, and I'm probably gonna try and do the same thing with I don't know if you could see it, you probably have a hard time, but there's 1 nut there and there's 1 nut there for the back side of the turbo. They look like they're going to be difficult to get to. I might not be able to get that socket in the swivel on there, I'm not sure. Tell you what, we'll find out right now. Well, I can. So I got that one on the back. I don't know about the front. I gotta imagine I could probably get on the front too. It's just wiggling around in here to do it. Let's see. Is it there? Yep. So you get it on the front too. Hard part's going to be heating it up and then getting down here quick enough time to get it off. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up there, I'm going to heat it up, and I'm going to leave this kind of just hanging here. So I got it all sort of ready, and poke it up and try to get them nuts off. So I removed the drain tube off the bottom. It was just the hose clamp, and I kind of turned it to get out of the way so I can push the turbo down and get the holes out. So the exhaust is disconnected, the oil feed line is disconnected, the intake hose is disconnected. I thought this was going to be seized in there pretty good, but it's not. I just have the one nut still holding the turbo on. So I'm going to take that off, and I think I'm going to let it down and then kind of move it out of the way of the manifold and then pull it out. And hopefully I don't knock the camera. I probably will, but we'll see how it goes. Well, this isn't going well. It's hitting the frame here, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get that out. Great. Well, I'm going to try and, if you can see, try and pull the exhaust bracket out right there. That's in the side of the transmission because of that rod holding the exhaust up. I think maybe if I take that out, it'll let the exhaust drop, and then I can get the back of the turbo here to drop and give me the extra clearance I need to get that out.
Yeah, this was the leaf I used to make Mom's and hers was really more beautiful because I had more pencil. Yeah, but now there's not that much pencil because I did it really fast. I tried one with a can and it came out really good. And I cleaned it up on my own.
So I'm drilling and tapping this for an EGR probe. Figured while I have the turbo out, I'll drill and tap it. That way I don't have to put grease on it and hope nothing gets stuck in there. So I'm tapping this with a 1/8 by 27 NPT. I don't have the wrench here because I don't have the wrench. For the size. So I got this tap in a kit that I got when I bought the glow shift gauges I got from my other truck. Never thought I'd need it again. All those things you buy and you're like, oh, I ain't never gonna need this again. And sure enough, that's what they sent me. Drill R and 1/8 NPT tap. So in here, you either got to go in the front or the back. There is a little divider in the middle, so you have to pick a side. I went in the back on my last one, so I went in the back on this one. I don't have an EGR probe, so I'll have to get a plug for this until I get one. But like I say, I wanted to tap that before I put the turbo on, because I had to use grease and stuff on the last one, and it worked. It just, I didn't like doing it. So that's how that is. Yeah, there's a divider. I can show you. Right up in the middle there. So you got to kind of pick one side or the other. I think I'm probably pretty good. So that's done. We got to get the studs out of the old turbo. Get the studs out of here, put them in the new one, and then we can put the new one in. So I got this double nutted, and I had to heat up that flange to get this out. That is a hot wrench. So I gotta get the other one out, put it in the new turbo. Man, sorry if you didn't see anything, but there's absolutely no way to do this. Well, I guess I could have probably put you down there. I don't know. Maybe next time. Alright, so I'm going to torque these two nuts here and then the two in the back. Once those are on, we're going to do the probably do the oil drain. The oil drain, tighten up this, put the clamp on the exhaust. Make sure the exhaust actually fits. Hopefully that elbow is clocked correctly. And hook up our feed line and we should be done. Oh, intake. But first things first, we're gonna torque those two turbo nuts there. Alright, so I tightened up those 4 nuts. They are 35 foot-pounds, or 32 foot-pounds, but I went 35 just because I want a little extra, because a little rusty. The extension I used was, well, that long, so, and I couldn't get it. I don't have a crow's foot for the front ones, and I can't get the torque wrench in there, so I just went as tight as I could get it with like a little wrench. That little wrench there, it's only like 6-7 inches long, so hopefully I got it tight enough. I'll get a crow's foot and I'll torque it better later. So that's in. I'll put the drain in. Those little these little nuts get torqued, or little bolts get torqued to 18 foot-pounds. In case you're wondering. Most people don't care, but I do. So let's put this turbo line on. Sure the O-ring's in there. Oops. What the hell is that? That's the weirdest thing. I felt like that was moving. You know, I tightened a lot of hydraulic fittings before, and these feel weird. It's like this isn't tight. Oh dang, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to prime this. I want to put some oil in there before I run it. Totally forgot. Alright, so I'm going to put the exhaust clamp on. When you're putting it on, you want to make sure you kind of tap on the clamp all the way around the outside to get it to seat in the groove of the clamp. Otherwise, when you tighten this end here, it'll just squeeze this end and it will still be kind of loose in the back. So you want to tap it all the way around as you're tightening it. And I think it does the same torque as that size bolt. I think it's like 10 foot-pounds or 110 inch-pounds or something like that. It's not very much. Same thing with this, you know, tighten it up until the spring compresses. I'm going to put some oil in the turbo. So you want to like kind of prime it so you have oil in there so it's not spinning without oil in there. Not that I think it would take long to get oil from here to there, because it's pretty much basically here to there. I'm gonna put the intake on. Then we should be done. Oh, I do gotta get a plug for that exhaust manifold though, to plug that hole up until I get a exhaust gas temp sensor. And I figured I'm gonna do with this clamp here. Try to heat it back up to get it to turn, tighten, and yeah, I'll put some Never-Seez on that one, and should be good. So let me get all that done, and I'll come back after. All right. So get that cap back off. And get my little pumper. Make sure there ain't anything on here. we can. So I'm just kind of filling up that fitting, and then it's slowly running down in. Probably running through. Alright, so I'm going to tighten up that, and I'll put this piece of intake back on, and then we should be done. Let's start it up and see if it explodes. Well, so that's that. That's how you put a turbo in. Pretty self-explanatory. Just like most things, it never goes as easy as it could go. Stuff gets rusty. Things don't want to come apart. But yeah, so I gotta get a plug for that manifold there. It's actually quite loud with that little bit of an exhaust leak. I mean, it's a pretty small hole, but makes a little bit of noise. So I accidentally forgot to hook up the mass airflow sensor, and when I was in there, check engine light was on, so kind of concerned me. Then I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to plug in the mass airflow sensor. So anywho, so hope that can help somebody. Thanks for watching.